All right, Jen, we are recording. Have at it.
All right. Hey, welcome to Monday night. And thanks for sharing your time with us here tonight, because I know we all have a bajillion things we could be doing. Family, games, dinner, whatever it is, and you choosing to be here. So thank you. Just in that, I'm going to invite you to recognize your greatness, because it's a step in greatness. So this month, you didn't know it, but we've been talking about greatness because of how the calls have fallen, and the review last week, we didn't really tell you that that's kind of what we were talking about. So today we're really going to kick that off. And thank you to the 3 people who at the end here will be sharing their greatness with us. See if you can recognize who they are, because their faces are like, ah, I see you. I see you. Okay, so what is greatness? Anyone? Really quickly, pop in, popcorn style. What is greatness? And P.S. there's no right answer.
Jennifer Saunders. Epitome. If you look in the dictionary, that's what it says. Adventurer, lover of fun, friend to all. That's greatness.
All right, and now I'm speechless. I was not expecting that. Thank you. Thank you. I'm like, and now where do I go from there? We should just end. Okay, so greatness. You guys, when we think about all the things that we want to do, or that we want to accomplish, or that we want to be, how often are we looking outside of ourselves? Raise up hand if more often than not you're looking outside of yourselves for answers. True. Man, I have so many things, like I've written down thoughts because I have so many things coming through my head. And God and I have this agreement where he doesn't give me what I get to say until it's just about time. So I'm filtering. So if I pause, I'm filtering what exactly he wants me to say to you. So looking outside of ourselves, here's the deal about greatness. It has a lot of definitions, and it has a lot of worldly definitions. It has a lot of things to do with energy surrounding perfectionism and being this like super great, just on top of the mountain, 1 million followers or $1 bajillion in sales, or whatever kind of energy around it. And the reality is, greatness is an inside job. It's not just an attitude, and it's not just a set of actions. It's who you were born to be, and it's who you are. Every one of us is born as greatness. Now, no matter what kind of religious or spiritual or surreal thing that you follow, the truth of the matter is you are greatness. Simply by the fact that you exist. You have things, gifts, and talents that may be very similar to myself, to the person on the screen to your right, to the person on the screen to your left, or under you, or above you. But the reality is, nobody does them quite like you. Nobody has your set of experiences, your set of lived life, and definitions, and how you go about it like you do. KB and I were having this discussion, I think last night, which seems like forever ago, where we were talking about, she and I could stand on a stage, or we could even add several more of you, and we could say the exact same words, And some of you would be drawn to KB, some of you would be drawn to me, some of you would be drawn to the person standing next to us, and so forth. And it's all based off of our lived experience and who we are as a soul and a human person. Greatness has a lot to do with learning why we do what we do. It's about learning to open your heart and to let joy and love in, because you're those things as well, simply by nature of existing. And we have this amazing talent of blocking those things out, trying to, through things like perfectionism. I'm guilty of that. through things of like having to have it just so, or saying the right things, or again, perfectionism. And in doing so, we create, some people define them as heart walls, but we create blocks, and we don't let love in, but at the same time, we don't let it out. And as such, it dims our greatness. It doesn't make it go away. It just brings it down a notch. And so greatness is about learning to open your heart and to experience love. But in experiencing love, you've got to know you're going to experience hurt, and you're going to experience pain, and lots of other emotions in between. It's just part of the game. This thought keeps coming to me, is that when we all at some point or another think, okay, I don't like to feel that thing, whatever the emotion is. And so I'm going to just pull that one down a little bit. And the reality is we can't pull one down. It's kind of like, you guys know mixer boards for music, and they do like this tone at this hertz and this one at this level. And we've got the bass here and the treble and it looks all cool. Well, emotions aren't like that. Emotions are, if we dim one, we dim them all. And when we raise one, we raise them all. So it's part of greatness. We can, it never goes away, because what? You are already it. It's just a matter of how brightly are you allowing it to shine through, based off of what you're choosing to pick up and attract here on this planet as filters. So opening your heart. So you got to know what you feel. You got to know why you feel it. And you got to know how you manage those feelings and emotions when they come to you. Are you taking the time to be like, oh my gosh, I'm feeling some anger, or oh my word, I'm feeling resentment, or I'm feeling resistance, I'm feeling whatever the word, the emotion is. Are you naming it? Some people say naming it's a bad thing. Well, the reality is naming it doesn't give the emotion power. It gives you power, because you know what it is you're feeling. And you can go back and be like, what just happened? What just happened in the last 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, or hour that is causing these feelings and emotions to take place, and then the behaviors that come with them. So it's about owning and learning to understand where you go to when you're hurt, when you fail, when things are going spectacularly, and so on. It's about owning your story and knowing the shiz that happens is just that, shiz. It means nothing about you. This is simply about lived experience and learning to understand our individual greatness. So it's also about the power of boundaries in order to keep an open heart. So talking about letting love in, I'd like to go, we're going to do a couple different exercises. So feel free, if you've got pen and paper, because you guys are in the habit of doing that when you come to calls, congratulations, you're going to get to use it tonight, like right now. So I've been practicing this thing where I'm actually writing down the things that I love and learning to feel emotion and what it feels like in my body, and how I experience words that may come through my heart and my mind, and really allowing myself to reopen my heart to greater love and greater joy, so that I can experience even more fully my own greatness. I know my light is bright, but I have days when it feels pretty dim. And when I look at that, I'm like, what have I been experiencing that I'm not allowing love and joy to be in my current lived experience? So I've started this practice of writing and speaking the things that I love. I've written a whole bunch down. I'm going to share them with you. And as you do this, I'm going to invite you to just set your stuff down, close your eyes. Oh, I should have like queued up some good music for this. Pretend there's really great music playing in the background. And as you do this, just settle, breathe, like really breathe deeply into your belly, in through your nose, out through your mouth. Let the oxygen flow, let the feelings flow, and And just notice what comes to your mind, because I'm going to give you an opportunity to do this for yourself here in a minute. So I just call these my love notes. I love the energy of early morning air anticipating the new day. The crisp coolness as it kisses my cheeks and nose and excites my senses. I love the sky preparing to greet the sunrise with its ever-changing halo, and the breeze that announces and welcomes the beauty and warmth of the sun to a new day. I love the song of cheeseburger birds that cause me to giggle, and the smell of ink as it streams my thoughts across a blank page. I love the intoxicating roses in bloom, wafting in my nostrils, leaving me wanting more as it tickles my olfactories. I love the sea of veins in a leaf or a flower petal. I love the laugh of a stream rushing down to bigger waters and a gurgling creek flowing over rocks and bumping into shorelines. I love the crackle and dances like campfire as it sends love notes skyward, and the sound of children laughing with no care in the world. I love the sensation of flavors bursting on my tongue from a meal made with love, and watching faces when they hear the words, I love you, I appreciate you. I love the unfurling of a new leaf or bloom and watching it stretch out and bring joy to its surroundings, and the sound of my wife's breathing as she lay peacefully next to me, allowing sleep to renew. I love the sound and vibration of thank you floating from grateful lips, and the feel and warmth of water and cloth moving over a dish soaking in a sink of bubbles. I love watching bubbles shift and move as I soak beneath them in relaxing hot water, and steam dance and plays that rises from liquid that soothes the soul. I love the color of decaying bark, showing its purpose and life-giving properties. I love sitting and just listening to the whispers of nature around me, the wisp of a bird's wings, the whisper of a butterfly passing near, the mesmerizing song of crickets, the croaks of frogs that create curiosity, and the splash of jumping fish. I love the intense sense of wonder and need to giggle as I experience all these magical things, the mountaintops that bring new perspective, the crackling of decaying leaves and their veins as they turn to webs of wonder. I love the gnarly dead trees standing their ground, providing beauty, respite, a reminder that when we're dead, we are not gone. I love the wind that creates change and the gentle breeze that whisks my hair and let me know angels are near. I love the touch of soft needles aglow with bright colors, illuminating my inner child and sense of wonder. I love the silkiness of freshly washed sheets touching skin and inviting me to peaceful slumber. I love the hug that invites me home and hangs on a little longer to deeply sink into my soul. I love you. I love your smile, your laughter, your wittiness, your curiosity, your desire to learn and succeed, your heartbreaks that keep you tender, and your breakthroughs that make you strong. I loved your lived experience that intersects with mine to create connectedness like the trees in a forest. So when the winds blow, we stand together, knowing we are not alone, but rather that we are love. So breathe that in for a minute. And then I'm going to give you an opportunity, and while we do this, I'll find some music, to just take a few minutes and write down some of the thoughts that came to your heart and mind about the things that you love, that maybe you don't particularly notice in everyday, or maybe you do. And I would like to invite you, as you're writing, to just feel what goes on in your heart and your mind as you let your pen move the words from your heart through your hand and into existence. KB, will you set a timer for 4 minutes, and I'll try and figure out some music here, please, and thank you.
All right, that's 4 minutes.
That is such great timing because song ended. Good job, guys, gals. Okay, just really quickly, what did you experience in a few words, just writing the things? Let me rephrase it. Allowing love in enough to write the things down that you felt.
Lighter.
Say lighter. Yeah, absolutely.
Like that little flutter, those little flutters in your heart.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Anyone else?
Gratitude.
Gratitude, for sure.
Peace.
Peace. I love it. I love it.
Joy.
Someone's joy. Yes, thank you. So the other day, as I was doing a practice like this, I was on my chi machine and I'm laying there on the floor under a blanket and I'm listening to a meditation, and I honestly like my heart broke open. It didn't break, it broke open, and I sobbed. I just laid on the floor and sobbed, for all of the reasons that you just gave, that I can even feel the things that I was feeling and experiencing, and having gratitude towards certain people and experiences that have been going on. And so this is a practice I'm going to encourage you to keep like a running tally of, just keep writing. When you see something, come back to your paper and write it, or wherever you're going to keep it. If you want to put it on sticky notes so that it's easier to see and be reminded of, I'm going to invite you to do that. Because again, it's part of our greatness. We've got to be able to give that love to ourselves, which means we've got to recognize it first of all, and then we can send it out. Love isn't something that and greatness isn't something that we just hang on to and store. It's got to be in continual motion. That giving and receiving. So the next thing with greatness is, it's about learning to sift through beliefs you've held and discovering which ones are yours and which ones you were given that no longer work for you. And then going through the steps, which we're not going to go through today, of evaluating those beliefs and how they play out in your lived experience, and whether or not they still work for you, or if it's something you want to set down, or if it's something you want to maybe manipulate a little bit and shape shift. Did I say that right? Shape shift. Or just let go altogether. So the next thing is redefining or defining, first of all, what greatness is for you. So there is have you guys heard the theme or the phrase, I am that I am? It typically comes in religious or spiritual practices, spoken. For me, it personally comes through the story of Christ. I've heard it in other places as well. But the phrase, I am that I am. A few years back, I had this opportunity to see it differently and to phrase it differently. And it's this, and it goes with the knowledge that we are greatness. It's just who we are. And it's this, it's, I am that. I am that thing. Does that make sense? I am freaking amazing. I am a holistic practitioner. I am an amazing mother or parent. I am, fill that in, and it's, I am that. I am. It's an acknowledgement of your greatness. For me, when I started to see that in a little different way, it shifted and changed how I saw myself, how I saw the world, and how I saw other people, but more how I interacted with them as well. And so again, what is your greatness? What are all the different pieces that help not define, put together the puzzle of your greatness? Because we might be and practice all of these things, but they're not who we are. It's just lived experience. Our purpose on this planet, we hear a lot of like, oh, I got to find my purpose. What is my purpose? What do I got to? And really our purpose, your purpose, is to live, to have a beautiful lived experience, and to start to grasp what that means for you, and to understand what increases your joy, what gets you excited, how you want to assist other people in finding their own greatness, and taking the things that cause shade or to dim their light. So with this phrase, I have a company called Button Gear. It's shape-shifted from a lot of things right now. It pretty much is just a race organization. I host trail races. And I used to always say this, and I still say it. I just tell people, go be great, with the emphasis on be. We've shifted into Righteous Rebel as the new company, again, with the emphasis on be. It's on being great. It's on being joy. It's on being love. Simply being and recognizing that that is enough. It's simply enough. All the doing and the scurrying and the things that we do are just things. It's just part of our lived experience. It's not who we are, and it doesn't define that. It just adds more value and meaning and joy and excitement, heartache, pain, all the things to our lived experience. So the phrase "I am that I am," I took "go be great" and I kind of shifted it the same, and I just said "go be great." Go be great. Now, really quickly, in defining what greatness is for yourself, before we move on to our guests and how they have lived greatness this month, one of the things that I love to do is take a word and create. I'm sure there's a fancy word for it. I'm not thinking of it. I just call it an acronym. And so together, I would love for us to just toss out some words about greatness, and maybe we can. I'm going to invite you to create one for yourself, but maybe we can create one for our soul squad of whether it's a sentence or it's simply words of what greatness is for us as a team, as we bring our lived experience together. So some things that I just played around with in the little space of time before we got on were this: it's remembering that words matter, and words they only have the meaning we give them, but more importantly, they point to what's fabulous and great about us. So here's just a couple of examples and ideas for greatness. Gradually remembering every amazing thing necessary to experience sacred self. That could be one. Another one, spelling out greatness in words. Gracefully remembering exciting, awesome thinking, now exercising sweet success. Or we could just simply put it into words that help remember what greatness is, like gratitude, recollect, energy, action, thinking, enchanted, shine, savor. So I'm gonna open up the mic, or you're gonna open up your mics and just toss out, like, what are some phrases or things that we could use to create a statement. I'll write them down, or unless someone is a faster typer than I am and wants to put them in the comments, and then let's play around. I would love to hear the phrases that you come up with for yourself. Maybe not tonight, but as you come up with them, start putting them in like the Facebook group or wherever, or maybe we can just have a call where we talk further about it. So what are some ideas of what greatness is to you? Like phrases, words that mean that go along with the letters.
Can I share something real quick?
Yes, please do.
Thank you for connecting my Bible study to today, because
You're
legit.
welcome. You're
Yes,
welcome.
legit.
Thank the big guy.
I have a statement or a verse here that says, "If I come to the people of Israel and say to them, God of your fathers has sent me to you, and they ask me, what is his name? What shall I say to them? God said to Moses, I am who I am. And he said, say this to the people of Israel, I am has sent me to you." Exodus 3:13 through 14. So God plays a role in our calls every single day.
I love it. I love it. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
Very cool. Anyone else? Or even just thoughts about the call, thoughts about greatness, thoughts about, let's hear it. We're going to take like 5 more minutes, and then I'm going to turn the time over to our various guests. I know you girls aren't shy.
So I'll throw in something. I don't know if it's what you're asking for, but I feel compelled. So I some of the notes that I've been taking. Well, when we had our eyes closed and you were describing things, it was really cool, sort of how your progression went from one thing to the next, and I really loved the growth in that description. And so, it's funny is that music is very important to me. And so as I started to write that, before you had the music come on, I wrote feeling the beat that reaches me. And then as I was doing that, I heard your Enya song. And so that kind of drew me. So I'll just read what I wrote. And said I wrote, as I write this, I hear Enya, which brings me back to high school nights in bed, where I listened to that same song countless times as I would fall asleep. Then I'm brought back to the house where I grew up, where God came to me and I felt and knew he lives in me. Days of sitting on my roof in my bathing suit so that I could get a better tan, where I lived carefree but knew what home was. Now I find myself trying to recreate this feeling of home for my kids, my heart in this house. And hearing that reminds me that I'm on the right path. I'm in the right place. And so that is great.
I love it. Thank you for sharing. And I love that when it takes us back to those places of, we're growing and expanding in our youth, and this the memory part of that. I appreciate you sharing that.
Yeah.
Thank you. Anyone else want to share really quickly? Maybe words that you have for greatness, or thoughts, or again, what Molly, just if you had a feeling of like, wow, this was really cool as I was writing this, letting the love in, letting the joy in.
What came to me was just being genuine and being true. So not being afraid to hide who you really are. Embracing
Yes.
your true colors and letting the people around you see your true colors.
Yes, I love it. And I had a thought. Oh, I love the word genuine because it has my name in it. Just gonna say.
So what came up for me was just failing forward.
Yeah,
Um,
I love it. Yes. Yes. Because have you guys noticed, speaking of failing forward, when we fall, how typically do we fall? Forward. Which is
Or
progress,
in your case, straight on your head.
or in my case, straight on my face. Yes, it happens.
Sorry.
Yeah,
I
it
just couldn't get
happens.
that picture out of my head.
Me either. It's funny. Okay, let's move on to our guests. I am going to have this be an extended invitation to write down your acronym of the words that represent greatness using the letters in the word greatness, or the phrase that speaks greatness for you. And then if you feel so inclined, would love to hear what those are. A lot of times we're inspired by other people's greatness as we're learning to raise our own levels and turn off the places, or come out of the shadows to really be who we are. And like Christina said, to let our true colors shine through, because it takes all of us. It takes all of us. And we weren't created to be same. We weren't created to be same. We weren't created to be robots. We were created to be amazing individuals with gifts and talents bestowed upon each of us. And again, we may have the same ones, but they're not going to be expressed the same or touch people in the same way. So we have asked Andrea, Cassie, and Molly to just share in a few minutes each some steps. And so where's my just ways that they have practiced greatness this month, some of the steps they've taken. And this doesn't have to be in business. This, once we own our greatness here, business just happens. Like, I'm telling you, it just happens. And I'm telling you from experience, I have not stepped into my greatness in soul. I'm learning. I'm in that gradually remembering every amazing thing to experience my sacred self inside of soul. So as these girls speak, they may not speak about soul, and that's okay. We're talking about the greatness that is them. So with that, let's have Andrea, you're the first one I can see. So Andrea, let's have you go first. And thank you, by the way, for heeding the invitation to be vulnerable tonight and to share and to trust us with your heart.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So I was really confused about what Jen wanted me to talk about, but it came to me then a little bit later. I just have fallen into a little bit of a slump with my soul gig. And so I was quiet for a long time, months, like most of last year I was quiet. But I was still taking soul the whole time, and realized in December, why did I stop sharing soul? Why did I stop talking about it? Because it saved my life. So why do I not share this with people? I do share it with a small like networking group of people, and crazy enough, someone asked, I asked someone on a one-on-one because she started asking questions about the collagen, and I started freaking out, and I'm like, what am I going to talk about? Like, I don't know how to talk about herbs. I don't know what I'm talking about. Because it was literally like a one-on-one on person and not something I could hide behind my computer. So, we met, and I was asking KB some questions on like what I should say. And I just went to the appointment and I was just freaking out because she was taking a collagen enhancer as well, that was vegan. So I'm like, it's going to be the same. It's, just freaking out in my head. And then I kind of sat down with her, got really comfortable, and just said, I know that you're taking different supplements from different places. What do you want to hear? Like, or not, what do you want to hear? What are you expecting to get out of those supplements? And she told me just the norm, what she expected to get. And I said, well, we have that, but we have our adaptogens, which people don't have. And that just kind of turned the whole conversation into more, and it developed into more than just collagen. And it developed into, she takes a probiotic and an omega and all these other things. So I think I don't know, it allowed my thinking that I don't know things, that I do know things, because I started talking about them and didn't rehearse them. Yeah. So I think I know more than I think I know, and always share what's working for you.
I love it. And how will knowing, and it's okay, it's not even knowing more about soul, it's knowing more about your greatness, because the soul stuff will come when you know this. How will knowing more of your greatness keep you moving forward?
No, it was really powerful. After I came back and I was talking to KB, and I'm like, I know more than I thought I knew. And she had told me what Jordan had suggested to do. And I'm like, I just did that. Like, are you serious? Like, I knew that. So I think I am great, because I didn't realize that I just did what I was supposed to do. And I mean, I've been with Soul for 2 years now, and I'm just doing the things and just telling people what I love and how great that it has made me as a person, and how great it is to share with everyone. So
Awesome. I love it. And congratulations on letting the love in and then sharing it right on out. Just doing what you already know how to do.
And that makes it easier, just sharing. Like,
yes,
you don't want to talk about another brand, you just want to share what you love. And that's all I did. And it comes naturally.
way to be great, sister. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Cassie, you're up.
Hello. I woke up to this message. Thank you for asking.
You're welcome.
But it's also like, what do I do? I realized a long time ago that I need to wake up grateful and go to bed thankful. So the whole day is sandwiched with a positive affirmation to who controls my day, which for me, it's God. I also am celebrating a birthday tomorrow, and I woke up remembering that, also remembering my mom and my grandma on my mom's side always dreading having their birthday, hated getting older. And then I had another grandma who always embraced her age. So big celebration, great cakes, always the whole family over for the month celebrating that. And who do you think was younger in their mind? The one that embraced the age was so much more fun, easygoing. Life was a little bit more positive. And I decided a long time ago that I wanted to be on the positive side of things. So walking into a room and have that not be a hard thing to do, but to be someone to encourage another, to listen to their story, to find a silver lining, to be kind of that spiritual cheerleader. And about 3 years ago, I listened to a talk, and it was about the attitude versus like Tigger versus Eeyore. And I really think both are obnoxious, but the whole idea of smiling my way through a lot of the things that have happened have helped me see the positive side of the plan that is set before me. I can only control this, my attitude toward what's coming at me. And there's so much. So if I can stay in my little circle, being who I am in the whole big world, then I think that is my greatness. So I try to do that every day.
I love it. And I love this little circle because for me, I'm like, that is our greatness. But what's cool is like a bubble, and bubbles move and wander. Sometimes they expand, sometimes they come back, and they can be really, really strong. And then we intersect with other people. And then if you've ever like just sat and watched bubbles, like take a bubble bath or watch your sink of bubbles. I used to do this for hours and watch how they move. And sometimes they don't do very well on their own. Bubbles have to be in groups. And sometimes they group together and get big. And sometimes they're just little bubble groups all together, and then they move all together and they separate. That's what greatness is knowing what your bubble is and the strength of your bubble and how to move around and intersect with other people when it's time. And then to come in and, you know, the bubble is your boundary. Your boundary is what keeps you strong. Your boundary is what lets love in. It's what helps you let it out in ways that are super powerful and fun at the same time, because bubbles are fun. So
Yeah.
thank you for sharing that. And I
Thank you.
love that you sandwich your day with what is important to you. And for you, it's having God and higher power in your life. So thank you. Thank you for sharing
you.
with us today.
Yeah.
And for heeding the call to share without really knowing, you know, what it was about.
Thank you for asking.
Yeah, it's our pleasure. It's our pleasure. Let's see. Amy. Molly, you're next. I can't see you on my screen.
Hi.
Hi.
So I just started writing a bunch of stuff, so I'll just read what I wrote. I don't know. You know, it's so funny. You have thoughts about what, sure, this is great, I can do this, and then it evolves, and then you hear other people talking, you're like, well, I was way off, but I'm gonna read it anyway. Just so I never consider myself great on a daily basis. It is not something that I think about. And I'm my own worst enemy. I'm sure that many of you can relate to this. I find myself thinking about what I missed. Why am I so tired? Why don't I have money, space, success, more time, etc.? The list goes on, right? So great to me varies day to day, minute to minute sometimes. I feel like when I can diffuse a fight between my kids, or when they say yes to me without fighting back, that is great. When they don't complain about dinner, when I hit a green light, when I hear a good song that speaks to my soul, when I leap over a puddle or a log and don't get soaked or trip and fall, that's great. When I do jumping jacks without peeing my pants, when I get through a week without missing or forgetting an event, these are all things that to me like make me feel like a great person. This is on a grander scale. I have so many responsibilities. I'm the president of our church congregation, the council. I'm the cookie manager for my daughter's Girl Scout troop. I volunteer in the book room at my daughter's school. I need to manage my household, the finances, the laundry, the grocery list, the lunches, the pets. I need to coordinate gymnastics, horseback riding, Girl Scouts, and still find time for myself. So things that I enjoy doing. I recently have been learning about beekeeping. We're going to be getting honeybees in the spring, which I'm so pumped about. And so I've been listening to like podcasts upon podcasts and going to local stores and meeting beekeepers and just having some really cool conversations and like feeding a part of me that I haven't really given much attention to. You know, I enjoy working out daily. It's something that I need to do for my mental space, for me. I love hot showers. I do enjoy watching shows. You know, some people will say TV is not good. Sitting is the new, you know, or standing is whatever. You know what I mean? The sitting is like the new bad thing for you. It's like, well, you know what? I really enjoy sitting and watching shows. I love learning about things. You know, with soul, I've loved learning about herbs, the body, science as it pertains to COVID, or, you know, whatever the case may be. It's like I just enjoy learning. I enjoy learning about people, about things, about experiences, about everything. So I get so much joy and energy from the people around me, which is probably part of the reason why I overextend myself. And that oftentimes I'm so busy doing this stuff that it's hard for me to pause and relish in how much I've done. So I've been with Soul for over 3 years now, and I think it's helped me tremendously with my anxiety, my energy, my mood, my desire to help people. I've learned about keeping a planner, about setting goals, the value of community, the importance of showing gratitude, what payoffs can feel like when you work hard, and how awesome it is to have support to be yourself. So in my insecurities, I've learned to pause and reflect on what I've accomplished, if only in that moment or that day. So now I'm asked to say how I'm great, and I'm like, I don't know, I'm working on it still. But it's in those moments when I pause and am asked to do something like this that I, you know, will kind of sit back and be like, holy shit, I'm kind of cool. You know, so this month I've tried to strategize how to move forward, but I haven't done it with the purpose of how to be great. I've just tried to strategize how to be happy. How can I offer massage? How can I incorporate foot detoxes into my life? How can I get more soul specialists and members in a way that is authentic to me? And searching for happiness is what leads me to feeling great. And so with that, it's, you know, it's funny, and I just recently have been like really on the planner thing, and I'm using pencil. KMA would probably be pretty proud. But so there's a planner and it's called the Kaizen, Kaizen, which is a Japanese word for constant improvement or change for the better. And so I downloaded that, and it's kind of like, you know, that is me. And every day it's like, what little thing can I do to improve upon something that may not have felt great yesterday, but that I can do differently? And it's noticing the green lights. It's noticing that I forgot to go to the bathroom before a workout, but I'm still doing it and I'm still like good to go. And, you know, so I guess that's how I keep moving forward, is having these moments, which, you know, let me know I'm on the right journey, I'm on the right path, and I am.
I love it. I'm like, holy cow, how do I wrap all that up? Other than thank you for sharing like the full circle of humanness inside of greatness. It's all the things. It's learning to recognize all the feels. And like you say, like, I'm doing this and I'm doing that and I'm doing that. And sometimes I remember to pause and go, I am great. Like, I am pretty freaking awesome. And you are. And it's, I think a bigger part, and I heard you say this in between the lines, is that learning to, in those pausing moments, or take more of those pausing moments to really grasp who you are and doing the things that you do so that you expand your joy and your happiness. I love that you said something, I don't know how you phrased it, in understanding or recognizing happiness is what greatness is for you. I love that. I love that. So thank you again for accepting our invite to share and to feel the uncomfortableness of this, and then just to prepare your thoughts. I really appreciate that.
Thank
So
you.
yes, Angela, I'm seeing
I
hands.
I just want to share my mug because I just randomly grabbed it tonight and it says moment of truth on the inside. To be honest, I'm winging it. Life, motherhood, eyeliner, everything. And that is just how I felt today. And I felt like a lot of you ladies could just resonate with a little bit of that and take a piece of that. And tonight's call, just like I wasn't able to dive deep because I'm just like, my brain is like fried because between work and the e-learning and everything else. But it's definitely made me think. And it's just like, tomorrow I really want to dig deep and just like write the things down, like just what Molly did. And a lot of those I could resonate with you. So thank you.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing your mug. That's really cool. But even more than that, thank you for sharing your greatness in this moment and recognizing that this isn't the place right here, right now for you to be digesting it all, but to just let it sink and to be a part of it. And when you're ready to know that, that's part of greatness, recognizing where we're at. Yes, I got to read this one in case some of you aren't seeing the comments. Amy says, I'm over here crying with pride for all of you and your greatness. Amen. Second, thirds, fourthsies, whatever. It's really awesome to be a part of this team. And just to wrap it up is to remember that greatness spans the emotions. And it's everything, like Angela said. Sometimes it's just waking up in the day and celebrating the fact that you woke up. Or the fact that you don't feel good, but you put some clothes on and you made yourself some cinnamate. Like, that's greatness. Sometimes it's getting, sitting down and helping your kids with their schoolwork. It's greatness. Sometimes it may be going out and slaying all the dragons and doing all the things, and that's greatness. It's how you define it. But it doesn't, it's not, oh, what are the words? Greatness isn't about doing. Doing is fabulous. And it helps us to accentuate our greatness, and it helps us to amplify the gifts and the talents through the greatness we've been given. Greatness is about just recognizing who we are and the simple fact of being, and then taking all of the things like Molly laid out, and I could name a million, and Ashley could name a million, and Tiffany could name a million. You all could name all these things that accentuate your greatness. And the thing that I'm going to invite you to remember is you don't have to do anything, nothing, to be great. And sometimes it's in the moments of nothing that we actually really recognize greatness. And then we just get to add all the other things, the gifts and the talents and the passions and the added purpose to exemplify and amplify that in other people. Because I'm going to tell you this, even though I haven't done it in this business per se, I've done it in lots of other places. And when we recognize our own greatness, we are far more able to recognize it in other people. And when we take this product or this organization and we see people and we want to assist them in their greatness through what we have to offer, they will grow immensely. Our businesses will grow immensely. We will be content. And the reality is, we will not have to go out and scramble and search and claw to be successful, because we will already know our success because we know our greatness, and it will just come to us because we will attract it to us. That I know with all my heart. I've witnessed it and experienced in my own life, my own lived experience. I've witnessed the scrambling. I've witnessed the having to make things happen. And it kind of goes against our greatness. And so I'm just going to end like this. Really quickly, I see Christina put on here: genuine, respectful, empowering, adaptive, thankful, noble, empathic, sincere, simple, greatness. Thank you for that. Those are great words. I'm going to take a picture of that really quick. Photo, where are you? Right there. I love you. I love you. I love being a part of this group of powerful and great women, warrior women, women who if you don't know who you are, you're wanting and you're desiring to know and uncover and really learn how to be who you are. I love what you offer myself and the rest of the people in this group. I love that you share your greatness and you share it through your gifts and your talents to help make the rest of the people inside of this group successful in the ways that they desire to be successful. That you share your tools, you share your love, you share your experiences, you share your wisdom and your leadership. And it's great. And I want you to hear me say thank you, to hear those words escape my lips and know that it comes from the deepest places of my heart. You're just fabulous. Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you for, again, just being you and letting your light shine brightly. And with that, KB, is there anything else we need to do before we say sayonara, sleep well, rest in peace?
I mean, I'm not sure what else could I say. I think this is 9 years of doing Monday night team calls. This is the one that has left me the most speechless. So thank you.
Thank you.
And you got some criers too.
I was able to hold it in. I will probably get off camera and go let it out. So cheers to all the criers. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that with me and trusting us with that. All right.
Told me tonight that it's okay to cry sometimes.
Yes, as much as we need to. As much as we need to. Crying is healing. It's a vent for the soul. Okay, we could keep talking. I love you. Go get some rest.
Have a good week, everyone.
We'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks, Jen.
Yep, thank you.
Bye.